Hey kids, you're listening to the internet's wettest podcast about video games, consoles, and pancakes. The SML Podcast.
Prepare for the SML Podcast.
You forget, what is the day of your follow-up?
Thursday is the doctor appointment. I'll find out in 2 days if I'm getting surgery or not.
Okay, but they do at least know that surgery is an option. So it's not like they didn't get anything like there'd be like a percentage of chance or anything. It's just either we need surgery or we don't.
I really don't know. All I know right now is that it is a, quote, high grade bicep tear.
Okay.
That's all I know. I don't know if that's enough to recommend surgery. I don't know if it's enough to require surgery. I really don't know.
Well, I mean, at least it's a high quality one.
It did really good. I'm proud of my arm. Like, go big or go home, right?
Yeah, you didn't do like a shitty job. You know, you don't want none of that low grade bullshit.
I mean, you definitely did not half-ass this, Joe.
Yeah. Did what I had to do.
I think you could have done better. I'm going to go ahead and say that. Everyone else is going to make you complacent. You could rip the whole damn arm off next time. I'm just letting you know.
Opening a window?
Considering he probably tore it at this point. He probably tore it like watching wrestling. So like that's why it's so impressive.
The amount of times I've hurt myself watching wrestling, way more than the amount of times I've hurt myself.
Carpal tunnel from jerking off to wrestling is very different, okay?
Hey, you didn't. It doesn't matter how I got hurt. It's that I got hurt. That's the important thing.
I mean, an injury is an injury here.
Yeah.
It counts.
Yeah, this is all staying in. What's up, everybody? SML, blah, blah, blah. Aki's here. Big Adam's here. Ryan Niemiller's here. Chris Taylor's here. Pernell Vaughan is here. And Rez is here. And maybe we'll get Andy later in the show.
Might even be a ghost here. We don't know.
There is a ghost here. The ghost of Matt PA.
What?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Give that ghost a sandwich.
And a drink, right, Matt?
Oh, I'm so full of milk.
Oh, never mind on the drink then.
I don't think Matt needs a sandwich as much as he needs to not come across Spider-Man mains and rivals.
I do miss that clip. That was a good.
I take it Spider-Man mains are pretty bestial in that game, or it just wasn't good for him.
Wildly annoying to deal with.
Like the sound of that, because Spider-Man as a character is annoying to deal with, so it feels like the deck is at least thematically appropriate.
He's so fast and zippy. It's ridiculous.
All we need now are just like random puns to pop up when he does damage to you. Or correction, no, when you miss him.
No, we don't need that. You don't need to make it worse than it already is. It was so bad that Matt had a "fuck you, Spider-Man" clip.
Yeah,
like that's it came up so often that it was clipped. So like, I don't think so. You know,
just getting ravaged in that game. Now I'm trying. Well, mini review that for me if you could. What? I've been curious about it, but I had vibes that was like more of a CCG, digital CCG. What is the spin on?
No, Marvel Rivals is just a shooter.
It's Overwatch with Marvel skins. Like,
holy crap! I thought it was that 3-on-3 game that was a big thing at one point. No. So this is a Overwatch style game.
Yeah, it's a hero.
What was the other Marvel game that was all cards? I don't even remember now.
Well, I
no idea.
I couldn't tell you because you just realized I had it wrong. So,
that was all cards, wasn't it? Was like an XCOM, like, right?
No, there was. Well, you're thinking about Midnight Suns, probably.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
but I believe there was also one that kind of had a Hearthstone-esque vibe to it. I could be wrong, but
that's not ringing a bell for me, at least.
There you go, Adam.
Fuck you, Spider-Man!
There it is.
What's not to love?
That's what I do. I am the soundboard guy. This is my purpose in life.
Well, that's not true.
Track down and
it's one of your
doing that with a hurt arm. You are a hero.
He's basically Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. And every time I make a new sound clip, everybody in the Discord is like,
"Good job, drug addicts."
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah.
And if you've noticed, a lot of our clips are Matt.
They are.
He's just got a clippable voice, I guess.
No, he has clippable reactions as well.
Straight clipping.
Now I've got some high friends in places.
Man, did that promo fall apart.
Just in places. I like that.
Ryan, did you catch the TNA pay-per-view recently? The TNA one?
I did not. I've been traveling so much for work that I'm about, since WrestleMania, behind on just about everything wrestling related.
That promo in that TNA pay-per-view was dead on arrival. It was.
Oh God.
Off.
It was a 4-on-4 tag match, and 3 of the guys were announced. The 4th guy was the big surprise. It was Mustafa Ali's campaign manager that nobody remembered at all. And he came out to crickets. He came out to "Who Are You" chants. And then he got
always
pinned.
a good start.
Literally.
He got pinned in the match.
I will say,
Now I've got some high friends in places.
Yeah. I will say, and I know that I am a hyper biased wrestling fan, but the Double or Nothing, the last AEW pay-per-view a couple days ago, was literally disgustingly entertaining.
No, that Briscoe match. Oh my God, did Briscoe bleed?
So fucking good. Oh, Briscoe lost a gallon of blood. There's no way he didn't.
Yeah, that was a gross one. That was a really gross one. Ryan, what wrestling are you watching lately? I know you like your assholes.
Lately, nothing. Like I said, I've just been I've been busy with
nothing since Mania.
Not really. I'm catching clips of stuff. Like I don't have the time to sit down right now.
You've been watching the best of John Moxley, haven't you?
Oh yeah, 100%. If there's anyone. For me, there's no other wrestling.
Why do you hate Moxley so much?
God, so many reasons. And this isn't. I know Adam and I have had some conversations before. This isn't even an AEW, WWE, whatever. I hated him as Dean Ambrose too. Just absolutely hated him. He's. I hate the way he moves. His why is he a snake half the time?
I remember you saying that. I don't have an answer for that. Yeah, I don't know.
That's just weird. He's one of those dudes that he wouldn't bother me as much. Of like he would be fine if he didn't carry himself like he's Lou fucking Thez. He has this opinion of himself that he's the greatest, like he's changing the game, and it's no, you're just a fucking annoying dude. His moveset doesn't make any goddamn sense half the time. Admittedly, I have not watched week to week for a while, but I know for a while he's bleeding for no goddamn reason all the time, which makes it mean nothing.
Oh, he's toned it down quite a bit lately.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, I think he took that to heart.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I mean, and just little stuff that it infuriates me. Like when he got dropped on that damn spike bat. That in itself was gross. That was gross.
That was awesome.
What pisses me off about that isn't that it happened, is that it didn't end the fucking match and he still won. What is happening?
Yeah,
I love that.
That should have been the end. How
do you top that?
To be fair, he worked for GCW. So that not ending the match makes absolute sense if you've seen his CZW work.
Didn't he? I was going to say, didn't he work for CZW and not just GCW? He did crazy.
Yeah, no, he's
shit
done.
Today.
Yeah, he's done gnarly, like never, ever permitted to be on TV kind of shit.
I will say, like, I'm happy for him if he's getting to do the kind of stuff that he wants. Like, that's about all you can ask for in an entertainment type world. I just happen to hate everything he wants. That's basically what it is.
Who's your number one guy?
I can respect.
Like, I can't stand Claudio. And Claudio Castagnoli.
Oh, you hate his uppercuts too.
That's because that was the only fucking thing he did in the ring for 11 years.
Like, he also spun guys around really far.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was uppercut, repeat swings. For 25 goddamn minutes. And then he did a giant swing.
Goddamn
and
right
then he did 2 more uppercuts, and then he ended the match. Like, it was insane.
I liked his elevated, like throw him up in the air like a baby and then uppercut him.
All of the variations and classics of the Swedish uppercut were there.
Yeah,
Swiss uppercut.
The whole Death Riders thing is dumb, just across the board. Like,
well, it's definitely played out. It definitely needs to wrap. And they were holding for Darby. Like, it's so obvious that they're holding for Darby, and I'm very glad that Darby got his wish, and it's done, and he should be coming home quite soon.
Climbed Mount Everest. That is insane.
I think just a lot of people are just miscast in there. Like I'm acquaintances with Wheeler Yuta, so I like him as a human. He is totally unbelievable in this role of someone you're supposed to be scared of.
Well, nobody's scared of him. Every crowd calls him "you little shit," and every crowd boos him. So, like, he's getting the reaction he likely deserves. Like, nobody's scared of that guy.
Yeah, he's playing the shitty heel pretty well. Like the little rascal, you little dickhead.
When he stopped going for "I'm an earnest tough guy" and started playing up the "I'm the runt of this group," it really elevated his screen time, big time, in my opinion.
It's like Ricochet
like I said,
turning into
I'm not watching. Yeah, like I said, I'm not watching week to week, so like But that was always my problem with Wheeler when this whole thing started.
Oh yeah,
you know, he's just not. And again, like, he is the nicest dude in the world. He's just like, in real life, he's so timid. Like, that's the thing. It's hard to like make that connection.
I get that from his appearances on stuff like AEW Arcade, where they're just like, you know, chilling playing video games or whatever. Like, that's the kind of the vibe I get from him for sure.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Yeah, I met him on the cruise a couple of years ago. He was a good dude.
Did Joe tell you that Dave and I, from my Discord, actually met Hangman Adam Page?
Oh yeah. He's a good dude too.
We got to like hang out and meet his family and sit with them for the show, and it was a really cool night.
You guys had a GCW show you went to too. That was
we went to
seeing you guys on the screen like all night. I'm like, hey, there's Adam. There's Adam again.
We went to the Joppa, Maryland GCW show and got second row seats for $50 a pop. It was like, what, 50? But done, sold. Tell me where to go. So we ganged up and we went to that. And yeah, like Joe said, you can see us on the pay-per-view basically all night.
You wouldn't believe how easy it is to spot a 9-foot tall guy.
I was going to say, considering your DNA is half oak tree, you are very easy to be found on camera, I'd imagine.
I'm only 6'8". Come on now. Come on.
Pernell, what are you?
I'm 6'7".
Oh.
So I'm to my understanding, I mean, I didn't believe it, but when the last time I saw Adam, the claim was that I'm taller than him, but I didn't believe it, to be perfectly honest. So who the hell knows?
And my little wrestling with an ass over here.
Could have wrestled together.
I feel like there's better ways to gauge height than to go to a wrestling event, spend the money on that.
Nah.
Just go to a diner again and hang out.
I was just going to say my little 5'7" ass just sitting over here.
Yeah. Just go to a Domino's and stand next to the door.
Yeah, being huge ain't as great as it is in movies. I promise you that.
Ain't that the damn truth?
You said that, and I'm just like thinking about Godzilla.
Now, if I was Godzilla height, I'd be fine because who needs to fit in the building? I can just destroy them. Everyone can suffer along with me.
Yeah,
No one has a building to sit in.
If you had radiation breath, yeah, life would be dope.
Absolutely.
No, you can have that without being giant.
Yeah, I don't know how I
radiation.
survive it. I might not survive that radiation breath for very long, though, is the problem.
Yeah, it's true.
What a way to go, though.
But that's
Close
not
enough.
radiation breath. That's just some stank ass breath. I want to melt shit, and also cause radiation meters to just start buzzing out.
I want to destroy cities. Damn it!
What a weird dream to have. It wasn't like the destruction. It was just like, I want to be the cause of a Geiger counter making sound. Yeah, that's a fucking dream right there, baby.
That's right. I gotta make it specific and unique. That's why someone can be like, man, nobody dreams like Pernell dreams. That's for damn sure. Who's going to compete with that? Nobody. That's cool.
I feel like most dreams are better than being irradiated, but that's just my opinion. That's just my personal opinion.
No, I'm the one doing the irradiating. I don't want to be irradiated. I want to dispense radiation while in turn being safe from said radiation myself.
I don't know how you would go about doing one without the other. It's kind of like love and marriage, as Al Bundy once said.
It's an institute which one cannot disparage. Also, I guess a wizard would help me do it.
I mean, we all know the best part of playing Fallout is the radiation clicking noise, right?
I mean, I'm the resident Fallout fanatic, and even I'm going, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to make that thing make any sound. I want a Geiger counter to be fucking on, functional, and silent near me.
Fucking you.
As an IT guy, as a tech guy, if my computer makes the wrong noise, I have a baseball bat on the ready. And I've never owned a printer. Hell no.
If there's one thing that radiation, it's a good hard right-handed swing from a baseball bat.
Yes, you're calling IT. How can we help you? Well, my computer's not acting quite right. It's pissing me off. Have you tried beating the shit out of it with a baseball bat?
We call that
aggressive maintenance.
It's a mechanical readjustment or percussive maintenance. Exactly. Yeah.
That's just crazy enough to work. I should give it a try.
Fan in my bathroom was making noise. Percussive maintenance took care of it. Just a quick bang.
How many times when you were a kid did you flip the switch on your Game Boy and for whatever reason the cart didn't load and then you just give it a little bop and the game loads? You know what I'm saying?
That actually has happened. Yes, it has.
I know. Percussive maintenance. It's a thing.
Just get the whacking.
It's god awful for the device, but it does work.
I mean, it's like we blew into all of our carts. We knew later that it was bad for them, but you know what? I'd still do it today. If my NES cart wasn't, but I'm still going to blow into the fucker.
What if your Switch cart was acting up? Would you lick it?
Well, I mean...
Everybody loves licking Switch carts, right?
I mean, I've had mashed potatoes and gravy soda. I can handle a licked Switch cart.
I think mashed potato soda might be better than tasting a Switch cart.
Isolated? That was such an incredibly odd sentence to say out loud, Pernell. It's like a shockingly weird sentence to say out loud, especially on a live stream. That's
my name is Pernell. Nice to meet you. These
categories,
oddities and more. That's right. Exactly. These oddities and more can be yours.
Bitch, I drank mashed potatoes and gravy soda. What you think this is?
He's like, hey, I ain't coming here to play. I came here to drink.
I'm sorry. You think this is Kinder Care? I'm sorry. Are we going to get after it? What's going on?
We had Bree on the Thursday shows. Bree did a stream. I think it was her 3 millionth gamer score stream, something like that. And you could redeem your channel points, and she would do a random number generator, and whatever number it was, she would take a drink of whatever soda it was, and it was all fucked up stuff. Like pickle soda, corn soda.
Pickle soda's good, though. Don't let her fool you.
You're a fucking liar, right there. I'm not. I will not entertain that as being true ever in my life.
Pickle soda is picklelicious.
Pernell, are you one of the psychopaths that, like, when they finish a jar of pickles, will just chug the jar before they throw it out?
Chug the brine, but I might sip it.
I'll test to that. I sip the brine too.
As someone who will make myself airtight with dill pickles because that's how much I love them, drinking the brine is disgusting.
But it's so nummy. I mean, what's not to like?
I mean, serious. See, I'm agree. It's full 100% here.
Yeah, see, Rez knows what's up. It's all about that brine, baby. Got a sippy.
Okay, you're ignoring the point here. There's fucked up sodas like pumpkin pie ranch dressing.
Okay, ranch dressing I'll give you, but I could totally perceive pumpkin pie as a potentially good soda.
How about enchilada, black olives, coffee?
Yeah, those would rank under the crap town. Coffee would be good.
Buffalo wing soda.
Yeah,
they already have coffee soda.
They had that Coke and coffee. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
The Coke with coffee in it?
Yeah, Coke Black.
Those things were freaking great, too. And the fact that they got rid of them is just a travesty. I had a couple of friends who were like, once they learned they got discontinued, they were stockpiling them in their fridge to hold on to.
I feel like you might belong to a forum that's like psychopathic.tastebuds.com.
I want to find that forum because I want to join it. Good God. See, I like trying weird things. Like Joe and I have had these chats. You know, companies come up with these ridiculous new products that shouldn't exist. But now you have to know, is it good? Is it bad? I don't know. But it's on the shelf so I can find out.
I think the things that you think you have to know are very different from the things that I have to know.
I need to know. I need to know. Does the soda taste good? Well, I got.
Don't you also have like a ridiculous spice tolerance?
I don't think it's as good as it used to be, admittedly, but I do still have a decent spice tolerance. I'll give it that.
I don't think it's as good as it used to be. Okay, so you used to drink like bottles of hot sauce whole for fun, right?
Whoa. On a dare, maybe, but not for fun. I did it just to show that I could. I won't call that shit fun.
Tabasco better in the afternoon than to unwind with an entire bottle of hot sauce.
This man just opens a bottle of Dave's Insanity and kicks it back like a Kool-Aid jammer.
If someone offered me money for it, I mean,
$20 is $20 at a dare. Come on.
Bingo! Like, you give me money, let's do this shit. If it's for free, well, that's not fun.
Maybe I'm misunderstanding the whole hot sauce thing, but like, isn't it intensity, not amount?
Well, the more you have in your body, the longer that intensity will stick. If you take a good bunch of it at once, the difference between dabbing your tongue versus basting yourself in it.
I'm not touching this one.
If it comes to hot sauce, I would rather take a sip than chug a bottle.
Exactly. Like, I've gone to like when we go to VGM Con, I feel like the only 2 years I've ever been, both years I walked into the Dwelling of Duels panel where they're popping the bomb on popcorn and eating it.
Yeah.
And it's a dab. It is a dab of that shit, and it burns. I don't even want to think about how long
like
it lasts in the bottle.
Thing.
I love how Joe was just like, I have this absolutely normal thought process, and I'm going to not only say it out loud, but say it with enthusiasm. Like, who the fuck wouldn't rather sip it than chug it? Are we being real here?
It's like Joe's like intensity over amount.
Joe's like,
I feel like
down to it.
I have a rational thought, so fuck you about it. Like, that's how you present
vanilla
it.
Coke. I'd rather chug it than just sip it, right?
I would rather get a paper cut than be stabbed 40 times with a large butcher knife. Call me crazy. Call me crazy.
Wow,
I can survive the paper cut.
I can't believe
I
you
had
say
the butcher
something
knife
so brash.
already. What the fuck?
No, I was just saying, like, in the spirit of like competitive eating, which is something I am very averse to myself, so I never do it. But I'm like, I think that it's like the hot ones thing, right? It's like you just keep eating hotter and hotter stuff, not larger and larger amounts of the same hot stuff.
Yes. Now, with that said, though, when you get bits and bits of hot stuff and increasing intensity, it builds on anyway. So if you take some little rinky-dink dab of something that's weak, and then take a dab of something that's a little hotter, it's not just now I'm eating a little hotter. Now I'm eating the little hotter that has been boosted by the previous dab. Like
this man sounds like he's doing drugs with hot sauce. I'm gonna dab this. It's gonna boost the intensity, so I can then dab this.
Hello, my name is Pernell, and I have a problem.
He's a sauce
what kind of dab rig you using?
Dude is straight sauce.
Literally.
I started out licking Bulldog sauce. Now I'm just chugging the bomb under the bridge.
Showing what a good church kid I am.
It all
I don't even know
started out when I was a young
the bomb.
5-year-old boy. As a 5-year-old boy with a bottle of Crystal Louisiana hot sauce. It's all been downhill from there.
And a Paul Battle on the other hand, and he's saying, "You pussies ready for the weekend?"
You know, Dad Tabasco's hot sauce too.
But
everybody does it.
Boofing hot sauce.
I got in trouble south of the border for boofing Cholula.
So I'm like, maybe
we're boofing on Tuesday. You were right, Joe. You told me that Tuesday would be just like Thursday. I'm excited. I was a little nervous being here on Tuesday, but yeah, things are gonna go in my ass. This is a good day.
So we don't.
I need you to prepare all the hot sauce in your house. Every ounce of it.
I feel like I have to explain that when Ryan's on Thursday shows, him and Jacob just go crazy talking about like controllers up assholes and stuff. So.
It's a lot of butt stuff. A lot of butt stuff.
I thought we wouldn't have nearly as much butt stuff on a Tuesday.
And you're like, but shoving controllers up your ass, that shit's fucking normal.
There's always been butt stuff since the beginning. That's what everybody doesn't realize.
Hey, I'm not knocking people who get down with the butt stuff. It's a thing. I'm saying controllers up the butt stuff. That is a special kind of butt stuff.
That's too expensive nowadays.
Yeah, I was going to say it's too expensive.
I'm not going to,
you're not using Switch controllers. You're going back to like an NES. Come on, those are cheap.
If the game has like,
I will tell you,
the right angles, man.
With 40 years worth of grime on it.
Yeah, these tariffs are really hurting my boof game. I'll tell you that much right
now. Yes,
it's hurt. We're all feeling it. We're all feeling it.
I'm not feeling it as much as I'd like.
But not the way you would like, apparently.
You know, it's a goddamn shame Mad Catz went out of business.
I think we know which controllers are shoved up asses as kids.
The new Fisto.
Why do you think none of them ever worked? Huh?
True. Pernell, you are a soda fan and a spice fan. Have you tried the new Mango Sweet Heat Mango Rush Mountain Dew at Little Caesars?
Why does it have to be exclusive at Little fucking Caesars? But I have to go to Little Caesars now.
I'd have never gone to Little Caesars.
Printed on the can.
I'm very specifically never going to try that soda because of it being exclusive to Little Caesars of all places.
Amen.
Now, I will say, before the person who asked the question jumps down on my throat, I will clarify. I have no general beef with Little Caesars itself. It's just getting to one because they're not as easy to get to as they used to be.
I don't care at all about Little Caesars or whether or not people go there. It's the fact that they made it exclusive to a pizza restaurant. I don't
know why I guess the company gives them kickbacks or something.
It's like a Baja being a Taco Bell exclusive.
And that was also stupid while it was exclusive.
Yeah, Dark Berry being exclusive to Applebee's, Legend being exclusive to Buffalo Wild Wings. Like, all of those about this stupid. Exclusive shit anymore.
All of those examples are equally dumb.
True.
The Baja Blast is the only one that I'm aware of that's mass sold now. So
yeah, because their 20-year contract ran up. Baja Blast has been around for over 20 years. Think about
that. They put it up for a 20-year contract on a beverage flavor. Get out of my soul.
Well, the contract's expired now, right? You can get Baja Blast at any old store.
Yeah, it's nationwide.
I have it in my fridge. Yeah.
And on my desk. The new Baja, the Cabo Citrus is good too. Like,
you know what's the weird thing to me? Is that you can get a can of Red Bull on the menu at Jack in the Box now. Because they used it for this kind of mixer. I guess they mix it with a kind of soda. And so you get a an especially zesty caffeinated beverage. But then they were like, I guess people really didn't want to not be able to buy just straight up buy the can of Red Bull, so it's right there on the menu. You can have this mixed Red Bull drink or a can of Red Bull, and I don't know, I just think that's really weird.
This new obsession that humans have with force feeding themselves as much caffeine as humanly possible, like, is horrifying because people are going to die.
People have been dying. I mean,
people, as I'm saying, like, more people are going to continue to die because, like, God, this was a long time ago. It was either the second or third year we were at the Gaylord for MagFest. 5 Hour Energy came through and did a table.
I remember that. Yeah.
And we threw them out after 8 hours because we had 7 ambulance calls on caffeine overdoses because of them.
Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
No, 5 Hour Energy is pernicious. They are very, very bad. But I think, the whole, overdosing caffeine and being concerned about it as well, kind of going hand in hand, has been a thing since I remember it being a thing with Surge and Josta. In the 90s.
Yeah. Yep.
And no, it wasn't Josta, it was Jolt Cola.
Jolt, right.
I remember Jolt.
Oh,
I do not mean to besmirch the Josta internet, lay off me.
Bitches don't know about drinking 14 bottles of balls in one night.
Balls
first off,
one.
Yes, I
don't do that.
Fucking
I did. Don't do it.
It's horrible.
And Red Bull, when it first came out, people were like, I remember like somebody telling me to my face, like, if you drink more than 1 can of that in a day, you'll get like heart palpitations. You have to go to the hospital.
So is drinking kerosene.
Yeah, but I wasn't doing that either.
All right, let's take a vote. Kerosene or Red Bull? Go.
I worked with a guy that drank 8 or 9 Monsters a day.
Oh,
Yeah.
How is he not dead?
That's what his doctor told him that would happen if he didn't stop.
Old and addiction,
and if we're
How
talking
is his
about
kidneys just
It doesn't even taste good enough to chug 9 of those damn things.
And I mean, if we're talking just caffeine intake, like purely, not all the sugar and other crap that's in a Monster drink, it's like, I mean, your average coffee drinker is ingesting like 1,000 milligrams a day.
Oh yeah, that's what. But Monster is everything.
How much coffee do you drink to have 1,000 milligrams of caffeine?
Huh?
A lot of coffee, or it depends on the grind.
That's 4 or 5 cups of brewed coffee.
Oh, yeah.
So how much of that is in one Monster?
I only drink.
Monster had more coffee per quart or quart ounce.
Monsters, the 16-ounce cans of energy drink tend to cap out at about 300 milligrams for the extra strong. Typically, it's an average of 160 milligrams per can. Coffee is anywhere between like 150 and 250 milligrams, depending on the brew. So, and that's a smaller portion of coffee too. That's not 16 ounces of coffee. That's like, 8 to 10 ounces of coffee. Again, really depends on the brew. Really depends on the beans, things like that.
Quadruple
coffee
espresso.
is, yeah. Espresso actually, interestingly, doesn't have the caffeine content of just straight up brewed coffee. I mean, it is straight up brewed coffee, but the beans tend to not be as caffeinated as what you'd normally see in like a regular like Folgers or Starbucks or whatever. It's true. I've looked at it. Because I was like, I wonder how much caffeine I'm actually drinking, and I looked at it and I was like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, the only time I ever heard of anyone really talking about caffeine and stuff was that fucking lemonade that they sold at that restaurant. I don't remember what fucking one it was anymore.
Oh, charged lemonade.
Is the Pantera bread lemonade.
Yes, that.
Pantera bread.
Where it was literally
Pantera bread, a vulgar display of flour.
Drinking it. The charged lemonade, weren't people getting like, they got sued for that or something because people were going to the hospital for it, right? And they pulled it off.
People died because of it, because it was literally one off from the max you were supposed to have in an entire day. And they didn't tell anyone that. No one knew that. So people were drinking it. And then, they might drink 2 or 3 of them throughout a day and they would just fucking kill over and die.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Damn.
And now it's not sold anymore.
Yeah.
Adam, if
Of
you
course.
get a coffee press, do you?
Fill that fucker with beans! Oh, yeah. Chris, you might want to check your caffeine research there, bud. Yeah, the typical espresso per 1 fluid ounce is 64 milligrams.
Mm-hmm.
The typical coffee per 8 fluid ounces is 95 milligrams.
Okay, so it is equal, like if you're looking at 16 to 16 ounce portions.
So
Sounds like espresso's higher. Oh.
Espresso is
it's supposed to be
ounce. 64 per ounce. So 8 ounces or 3 ounces or whatever.
How much espresso is in a quad espresso? 4 ounces.
So it's 64 times 4.
Yeah, so about 250.
I thought you were going like 16 ounce espresso against a 16
Well,
ounce
espresso
coffee.
is mixed with other things. Espresso is a very condensed, small amount of liquid, and then you fill it up the rest of the way with milk for a latte, water for an Americano, foam for a cappuccino, things like that. But the espresso itself is, you're not supposed to just drink that. I mean, you can, but it's a very, very small portion.
Yeah, 100 grams, 100 gram espresso, which is the big one, is 212 milligrams in total.
Yeah, that lines up with what I'm saying. I may have mixed up I guess the espresso is as strong as regular coffee. That's no big surprise.
I mean, is no one else drinking the colonic can size? What? I mean,
Blow cereal.
I'm not a coffee guy, so I really don't know.
I drink coffee all the time. That's what got me curious. I was like, there's no way that has more coffee.
Like,
Ryan, what
I
do you
like
drink?
coffee, but I'm pretty light on it.
What do I drink?
Yeah.
Just water with some cocaine in it.
I'll perk you up.
Very good.
I think it's about. No, I don't like hot drinks at all, and I don't like the taste of coffee. If I'm a Mountain Dew, if I need caffeine type of guy. I basically try to be as stereotypical of a video game fan as I possibly can be.
Nice.
I just hang out in my mom's basement and drink Mountain Dew.
I'm basically a 1 cup of coffee a day, and then like a cup of tea in the afternoon, and then like a energy drink or soda if I'm about to do something and I need to be awake for it, kind of guy.
I drink 2 cups of coffee in the morning. Drink 2 cups of coffee in the morning, and then I drink water for the rest of the day until dinner. And if we order something that would come with a soda, then I have a soda. If not, I just keep drinking water.
Yeah, that's a good way to go.
Yeah, well,
I need to get closer to that, honestly.
In the morning, smoke 2 joints at night, smoke 2 joints before I smoke 2 joints, and I feel all right.
I heard that song. It's all right.
High five, Joe.
Yeah. Trash Rando, when do you guys poop? Who wants to answer first?
Constantly.
Too much.
I say I'm pooping right now.
Too goddamn much.
An hour or two after I'm done eating my meal for the day.
Jacob were here, he'd be like,
man, that must be
before
nice.
the
Right
show,
now.
obviously.
I'm doing it right now.
When am I not shitting?
After the second cup of coffee.
I'm diped up. Let's do this.
Like clockwork.
I'm like a scorned astronaut driving across the country because my husband's cheating on me. I'm diped up and ready to go.
I'm only dying you were here.
It's like that.
Oh shit!
There's some drill tweet about Twitch. You know, a Twitch streamer brand of like adult diapers. And I always thought that was very funny.
I'll have to invest.
Yeah,
but we got some games to talk about. Should we get to these tonight?
We probably should.
Yeah, I got 20 minutes before I got to put the boy to bed. He's already heard too much about my boofing, so I got to get to it.
We'll shuffle yours to first
around.
then. Yeah, we'll move yours to first to help out. Let's start off with Kaiju Big Battle Fighto Fantasy, developed by Super Walrus Games, published by Penguin Pop Games, released May 13th. Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, PS4, PS5 for $19.99. Kaiju Big Battle Fighto Fantasy is a 16-bit styled RPG featuring turn-based combat, large cast of characters, and tons of hilarious dialogue. Designed for Kaiju fans and newcomers alike, Fighto Fantasy takes players on a quest across time and space. as they work to undo damage caused by the evil Dr. Cube as he rampages through history in search of fame and glory. Chris and Ryan, both of you played this. Ryan, how about you start us off? Tell us about Kaiju Big Battle.
It's fun. Okay, good night.
All right, Chris, your turn.
No.
Give us some.
No, it's I do feel so. Kind of first off, I did enjoy. I'm about 6 hours into this. I'm not fully through the entirety of it. I do feel that the game would probably be elevated a little bit for me if I was familiar with the property ahead of time. It does seem like there's a whole universe that they're kind of insisting that about going into it. But that being said, it's silly and fun enough that it doesn't matter. It's just a turn-based RPG. They're not really reinventing the wheel with that. The characters are fun. The writing's funny. It's not hard, which not every RPG needs to be. I like when a game like this kind of sneaks into the genre, or it's just meant to be played instead of, mid-maxing your character and figuring out the best builds and all that. It's just fun and dumb.
Right on. Yeah, so basically, a little bit of... let's give it a little bit of framework here. So Kaiju Big Battel... battle is spelled wrong intentionally. Apparently that started off as an accident and then became like, this is the thing now. So this is actually a JRPG style of RPG, put out by Super Walrus Games, who I do believe are, they're not Japanese. Anyways,
Super Walrus.
Yeah, maybe. So this game actually came out back in 2018 on Steam and whatnot.
Steam,
yeah, it's a little bit of it's got a few years behind it, and yes, it is based on a thing called Kaiju Big Battel, which is like, I don't know enough about the wrestling thing to say whether, because it's considered performance art, right? Because it's wrestling with a kind of over-the-top kayfabe that like just becomes like just fantastical. So it's like there's no convincing people that like these are people who are in the ring pretending to be the size of buildings, and like so like if you took like the making of a Godzilla film but then pretended that it was real, like when it's right in front of you, that's kind of like what they're doing, right? And the game is filled with established characters from that particular thing. So I kind of like that about it, is that, let's make it real by putting them in a video game. And, rather than just being people in suits, doing performance art. And in that sense, they can kind of do whatever they want. And sure enough, whatever they want is pretty bizarre.
Yeah, it's weird. It's
weird. So you got a wrestling match that already has its kind of like little establishment of like, here's the good guys, here's the evil Dr. Cube, and Dr. Cube is sure enough the bad guy in actual Kaiju Big Battle. And then, they all get sucked into a different dimension. Apparently, Dr. Cube has done something to the world and scattered everything across time and space, including your other companions. So you must go to different locations and find them. All along the way, you can like kind of collect these collectibles. You can do, kind of side questy type things that pop up as you adventure in. Like, it's not just going from place to place and smashing up all the monsters and then coming back. But, that is like a big part of it. It definitely wants to throw a lot of absurdity at you, but the actual
the
gameplay
original
of
Kaiju Big Battle performances are bonkers absurd.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I got a sense of that from it, but I haven't.
It really is wrestling mixed with like low budget theater and kaiju movies. It's
yeah. I really love that. I'm actually interested in like checking out more of like the actual thing now.
Yeah, and I'm not sure where the dev was originated from, but they are in East Coast US right now. So okay,
yeah, that's all I meant, is that it is the game purports to be like kind of Japanese and like it definitely has that flavor to it, but it's not actually. It's it's a pastiche in a sense. So again, like the actual thing is a pastiche of like giant monster films and things like that. So yeah, I quite like that about it. As an RPG, just without knowing anything about it going in, which of course I did not because I was not aware of this thing before I, got this game code. It feels definitely a little bit Earthbound-ish. Moving from place to place, like, modern settings, lots of jokes, absurd characters, absurd enemies. The enemies are on screen, but there's an in-game lore explanation as to why they're all the same, like purple shapes, like so that they didn't have to make separate monster, sprites, I guess, for the world map, which is pretty fun. It even has mini games in it. There's a little arcade room in like the hub world where you can play a version of Burger Time and a version of Space Invaders that are also flavored like the Kaiju Big Battel. So there's a lot like that kind of went into this thing that you can tell that it was made by people who really love to make video games and really wanted to kind of put everything into it that they could. I'm actually, because of that and the fact that it's apparently about a 12-hour game. I haven't gotten through it either, but they are saying this is a short RPG. And it has also 3 difficulties, and the easy mode is absolutely easy mode. It's if you survive the fight, then you'll have like full health going into the next one kind of thing, You can save anywhere, which is nice. Even though it has save points, I think that it's like, I think maybe the harder difficulties maybe don't let you save everywhere. I don't know. It gives you a good enough explanation when you start the game. It's just I haven't started the game in a while. But yeah, past that, it's, like I said, it's a little bit Earthboundy, a little bit Mario RPG-y, especially for the fact that it has a character that's a silver potato, which I quite like. And also, I really love that it's, I like the main character, who is a kind of a beetle character, who's also a really jingoistic American, who...
yeah, he's basically Hulk Hogan as a masked beetle.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, I was like reading a little bit about the character outside of this video game. Apparently, during the Obama administration, when they were doing, when they were trying to improve healthcare in this country, remember that when that happened once?
Back in the day.
He apparently switched from being a Republican to a Democrat so that he can get healthcare. So... that's one of the things the character himself did. And yeah, he's got like a power-up move that plays like a little bit of America music before, like, it increases your fight power. There's a lot of personality in this game. And honestly, kind of like the thing itself, it's like the spectacle and the sheer like jolliness and like absurdity of this whole thing like really drew me in. So I'm really quite impressed with this one. Oh, and the soundtrack absolutely slaps. I love the battle music in this game.
So good. Even the I've had plenty of times where I've like booted the game up and then was getting stuff done. Just the title screen music is dope too.
Even the game itself really comments on its own soundtrack sometimes. So
now, it looks like the soundtrack was done by Glock and Mr. 8-Bit.
I don't know them. I recognize Mr. 8-Bit as a name, but I don't know that I know that as a person. So yeah. I'd have to look into
Adam
that further.
Glockenberg and Brian O'Connor. It is on Bandcamp. If people want to grab the digital album, it's $5 or more. So
nice.
Get yourself 35 songs for $5.
Very good.
That's some good shit right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of figured that Ryan would enjoy this due to his love of retro games and wrestling. And Chris, you would enjoy it due to your love of retro games and kaiju. So what did you two think? Was it an enjoyable product? Is this something that you want to sink more time into?
Oh yeah, I'll definitely finish it. I think I didn't look up that it was only supposed to be 12 hours. I think that's the sweet spot for this type of game.
Yeah, Mario RPG length.
Exactly. Yeah, I do feel with just like with what the kind of story and gimmick and the writing and the jokes, I don't think you'd want to sit through that for 100-hour experience. But 12 is a real sweet spot where like you're just going to enjoy it. The game is winking at you the entire time, basically. Like none of it. It's like it's good comedy writing in the fact that like it's all silly and absurd, but everyone in the world is taking it all very, very seriously, and that's why I think it works so well. So I'm definitely going to finish this one out.
All right.
Yeah, I like this one. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
You had a question.
I was going to say, let's talk price. It's a $20 game. Need some verdicts on this bad boy. What do you think?
Okay, so that's where I was going to say, well, it's half of that on Steam. So, like, it is $20 on the console.
Older on Steam. This is new release on console.
Is this a brand new game kind of thing?
The console port is brand new.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying, like, if you're looking to save some money, like that, or just try it or whatever, then that,
I don't know if it was polished up or if anything was changed, but
yeah, I couldn't determine that myself either. So I'm going to say just whatever, like ignoring that there's a Steam release already, I would say buy it because $20 is whatever. It's fine. That's like a fifth of the cost of what a new game's going to be in a couple months. So
bad, but true.
It's the price of half a cup of coffee, no problem.
Ryan,
I think 20 is okay. That's probably the top end that I would have considered it. Because like I said, it's meant to be a budget title, and that's not meant to be an insult to it. It's not supposed to be this big AAA high budget type of deal.
Yeah, it's got a low budget DIY like quality about the whole thing, like, and that I think is a value rather than a detriment.
Yeah, it works well because they're not trying to do too much. I mean, there's a lot of indie games where they didn't have the budget, but they're trying to pretend that they did, and that makes it weird. This is not apologizing for what it is. It's a very fun retro style game. I think 20 is worth the buy for sure.
Very good. All right, Ryan, that is it for you. We will let you get going. I want to thank you as always.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, my wife thanks you because I get to go put the baby to bed and then do another podcast.
Oh God, what other podcast are you doing?
It's my podcast, which I'll plug right now, The Cafeteria. I do it with comedians Johnny LaQuasto, who used to be with NXT, and my buddy Brent Terhune, who's a big viral comedian. It's real dumb, and we like doing it. So give us a listen.
People find
CrippleThreat.com. On everything, Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to podcasts, Joe.
I don't listen to podcasts, Ryan.
Well, then you ain't gonna hear shit. You'll hear.
He's got you there. He's got you.
And then all of this out. Your self-promotion will not stand on this fall.
How dare you? Well, I'm going to keep going anyway then, in hopes that you forget. I'll make it such an integral part of the podcast where you can't edit it out.
I will absolutely forget to edit it out.
I'm going to make self-promotion my entire personality.
That's me. CrippleThreat.com, CrippleThreat on all the social medias. Doing a little summer tour here, a couple week tour. I'm going to be in Champaign-Urbana, Illinois, Indianapolis, Indiana, Nashville, Chattanooga, and Panama City. You can get those tickets at CrippleThreat.com. And then I'm also doing a lot in the LA area this summer. So
when you come back to Pennsylvania?
Man, whenever they want to give me money.
I'll give you $20 to like watch our cats for the day while Ashley and I go shopping.
Perfect. That is exactly the kind of road gig that I want. A $20 cat sitting gig.
I mean, once again, $20 is $20.
You know what? Now, do I still get paid do I get paid if I boof one of your cats?
Like
depends on the cat.
Okay. You let me know which cat I can boof and I'll be there.
There's a sliding scale.
Peanut might fit, but she has wobbly cat syndrome, so he'll probably feel awesome.
So what, she's a detective sometimes, or what?
Oh, she was born just with cerebellar hypoplasia, I think it's called. It just makes them like kind of Parkinson's-ish, where they just kind of like wobble all the time. They have they kind of wobble when they walk, and it doesn't really affect them at all. Like they get around just fine. Peanut and Butter both have it. Peanut is moderate, Butter is mild. So
we're talking about hot sauce.
They're cute as hell.
I say it's affecting me right now. You know what I'm saying? Hearing about this.
Can't wait.
Ryan, any final words?
Thanks for having me, Tuesday crew. Thanks for letting me talk butt stuff, so I felt welcome. You're
and boofing.
And boofing. You're all just real treats, if you ask me.
Oh shucks! I hope I'm like one of those like nice strawberry wrapped candies.
Yes, you are something that an old woman would have given me on Halloween.
Yes. Goals, baby. Goals.
All right. We'll talk to y'all later.
Take it easy, Ryan.
Bye.
Next up, Roadcraft, developed by Saber Interactive, published by Focus Entertainment, released May 20th on Xbox Series X and S, PS5, and PC for $39.99. As the leader of a company specialized in restoring sites devastated by natural disasters, use your construction machinery to restart the local industry. Clear debris and faulty equipment, rebuild roads and bridges damaged by weather, and much more. Big Adam and Rez, both of you covered this one. Big Adam, start us off. What's Roadcraft?
Roadcraft is essentially, if you've always wanted to play with Tonka trucks and enjoyed the style of gaming of Farming Simulator, oh boy, have we got the game for you. I actually spent a lot of time in the construction industry. I went to school for 5 years to run multiple different kinds of heavy equipment, and I have a lot of real-world knowledge on these machines. And while the controls are obviously different, and the physics behind them can get a little goofy at times, I will say that it's one of the more realistic experiences of like construction equipment I've played in a video game. I really thought the way they went after delivering, what can be there of a story was pretty interesting. Like you're in the area where you start out in the area where a storm is a brewing. It's coming, and you're like kind of battening down the hatches of what's already there. And that's how you do the tutorial, and you learn how to kind of operate some of the machines and kind of get around from point A to point B and figure out how to clear objectives, stuff like that. And I thought that was pretty interesting because the rest of the game, as it says in the description, is about disaster recovery and basically rebuilding areas to become self-serviceable again, rebuilding roads, getting supply lines back up and running, getting power grids back up and running, that kind of thing. And I really have a great time with this game. It is one of the better kind of like, if I'm having kind of like a low-key vibe kind of day, it is perfect. Or it is also absolutely perfect while watching wrestling. It is just a fantastic kind of, I just want to vibe for a couple hours. And as Joe can attest, during wrestling several nights, I have done exactly that. And I also thought the way you progress into the game by like unlocking different facets of industry was pretty cool. Like you start out with dirt roads and like smoothing out dirt, or really it's sand roads. But then you get like, your asphalt laying machine and your roller and the flatbed to haul them around quicker, and you really start to actually gain a sense of like, okay, I am kind of running the show here. I am kind of at the head of this business, but I'm also like stepping in and doing things. As a lot of those real kind of construction companies definitely do work. I can babble for hours, and I figure I'll let Rez say some things about the game before I just talk forever.
Cool. Rez, say some things about the game before Adam talks forever.
So
did you just cut out?
Hold on, I had to adjust some cues there. So this game, so I took one look at the trailer for this game, and I had very much an opposite reaction of what Big Adam had, because I looked at this and went, "Oh my God, it's Project Zomboid, Department of Transportation with me and my friends without the zombies." Because every time we play Project Zomboid, we end up resorting to clearing the roads of wrecks and actually repaving certain sections of the highway just so like cars and trailers would flip off the road. This game, it is a very particular stretch for me. And then I don't know, did anybody see the Childhood Memories trailer they released like right before the game came out?
I did not know.
Absolutely, I did, and I was that kid.
Bingo, absolutely, yeah. It's basically the trailer shows a kid playing with a bulldozer in just the dirt next to his house, and he like backs it up and it bumps into a juice box, but it happens to knock over a water tower or something that's like right across the street, and he figures out he can move his car and it moves the equipment across the street, and then 3 kids jump off the swing set and they all come over, start playing with trucks, and so that's pretty much the game is that.
Oh yeah,
like I've put close to 14 hours into this. I've already got this one of 2 second maps unlocked. I went with the Sunken, and I want to get a whole crew together and just, like Big Adam said, it's a game to just get together, shoot the shit, and just play with trucks in the dirt and mud and water.
Yeah. If you ever had a sandbox experience with Tonka trucks or Matchbox cars, and you had like little town set up and like, you know, you built little bridges out of whatever toys you had lying around or whatever. It's that, but with like construction equipment. It's just they did all the imagination for you. Now you just get to play with the stuff. It's awesome. The game's fantastic. I took a little bit different approach. You played a lot more of it than I did. We were at about the same timestamp until last week when I got very sidetracked. And you had actually gotten to the
90 hours.
You had actually gotten to the next zone way before I did. And I was going to ask, did you go for 100% completion in the first area, or did you do the main story and then just zip over?
I did everything except doing that long route from the town that starts with a P. Like, because it's super long all the way around there. And
it took me like 3 hours to do that. My first question was going to be, how the hell did you get the sand over there so fast? Because it took me like 3 hours to do that.
Well, in Sunken, later on, you unlock a mobile quarry.
Well, that makes things way easier.
So you can just drive that bitch right over there and just run your dump truck back and forth like crazy.
Yeah, see, I did that long road. It took like an entire episode of Dynamite while we were watching.
Dude, I spent an hour on the first tunnel, like right as you get across the bridge. I spent an hour just filling that in.
Oh yeah. Because I love games that you can terraform with machines. I love that. That's
one aspect
cool.
of the game. One of the mission types we forgot to mention is that you have to plot a route for supply trucks to run from one point to the other, and it's basically you literally just click dots, along the route where you want to go, and the AI is at this point kind of stupid. So you have to, if you're going to take a turn, you have to like put down multiple short routes. You don't want to put long stretches because it'll hit a rock, flip over, and you're going to have to start over the route.
I noticed that too. You really have to like micro dot your map, especially like you said in 90-degree corners. Because if you try to do anything even close to 90 degrees, you're in for a world of trouble.
And just because you can get through an area doesn't mean they will get through an area. So you got to pay attention to like the mud and stuff like that. Like at least drop some sand down, or you might have to pave a fucking road.
Yep.
But you can pave a road to any direction you want.
Yeah, and that's the thing that kind of blew my mind is the amount of terraforming you can do is not locked into a specific area. You can pretty much rebuild it and make it as nice as you kind of want. It's pretty awesome.
I mean, the way the water like displaces when you dump sand into it just blew my mind.
Oh yeah,
when I saw that happen for the first time.
Yep, absolutely. Big agree.
I mean, this is from the same devs that did Snow Runner, Mud Runner, and the original Spin Tires. So I'm like looking at that. I'm like, oh, clearly they've got the engine on point here.
The cool thing about this game is if I played both of those other titles, and while they definitely have their place and they're fun in their own right, I found them to be a bit more complicated or difficult than I felt they should have been. And I think this game really corrected that.
Yeah,
and
the
they
big
didn't
thing
go overboard.
They removed the fuel damage, like to parts of the vehicles and stuff. They just pulled that right out. It's kind of like going from Mass Effect 1 to Mass Effect 2 in terms of gameplay. It's simplified, but it needed it, you know?
Yeah, yep, yeah, I agree. That's why I was saying it's really got that farming sim kind of vibe. Because once you can just really get started on a project and take a couple hours and just work on that project. And to be able to get your infrastructure plotted in those route plannings that he was talking about, and it be successful, and you not have to go back and resurface the road because it's a sand road, and they get shitty over a while or every time it rains. And I also dug the fact that it doesn't have time restrictions. I found that to add exponentially to the relaxing quality. Is the fact that you're not time locked.
So that mission where you had to connect the power station to the power plant.
Yeah.
Okay, I was probably the only idiot because I was like, oh, it needs to connect to the town. So I started digging through all the roads going towards the nearby town, only to realize when I got there, oh, wait, I just needed to go to the power plant.
Right.
So, and the fact that it left all of it tore up, it kind of screwed me over in places when I was trying to finish things out.
That's interesting. I hadn't even thought about putting myself in a situation where I fuck myself over for a later building. Yeah, okay. Because I hadn't even considered that. I'm so ridiculous when it comes to UI. If it's do thing here and then do other thing here, I will GPS coordinate to make sure that I'm in the right space. It's just because I've played so many games that are so finicky. If you don't treat it like that, it just doesn't work, So
I did enjoy unlocking one achievement by completely accident. It was just driving around one of the scout vehicles, just looking ahead. Totally missed the fact that the thing above the ridge was a cliff, and drove off the cliff. And it was a long drop. It hit the bottom and it unlocked the time to think achievement, which is free fall more than 15 meters.
Oh, wow. I had no idea that was in the game. That's really funny. That's amazing.
There's some pretty humorous achievements, and there's some hidden ones. I'm interested in what the hidden ones are.
But yeah, needless to say, at least for me, I am without a doubt going to finish the game probably a couple times over. Because like I said, when I'm in the mood for something relaxing, this is going to be the game that I go to, at least for a time.
All right, we need a verdict. Buy it.
I already bought a copy from my German friend. And she hates driving, and she wants to play this game.
That's amazing. I definitely worth it. Absolutely worth it. The game just came out. They already have a $40 product, definitely, but I have a feeling that they're going to release other things in the future, whether or not they're free or small, paid DLC.
Yeah, they've already got the rebuilt DLC, on pre-order or pre-sale or whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much, you two, for coming on, doing your thing. Any final words?
I was blessed with Warhammer 40k Speed Freaks. So
Nice.
I'm very much looking forward to jumping into that next. I think, as well as Speed Freaks, I'm going to be finishing up Doom: The Dark Ages. This is my personal game of the year so far. Doom: Dark Ages is insane.
That's on Game Pass, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna be starting that soon. Then I think someone showed me the speed options of it, and I'm like, oh, this can actually be made to where it's slow enough that I can actually keep track of everything on here. It's not like Eternal. Yay!
It's the most Doom content I think I've ever played, and this is coming from someone who has played all of them on generation appropriate equipment at generation appropriate times. All of them. So, nice. I'm absolutely blown away because it is your typical Doom game, but the fact that it's all like medieval as opposed to just like you're in hell or you're in like a future kind of space place, but you're also in hell. You're in the fucking Dark Ages and you got a shield and a flail. You're running around like a fucking badass. Dude, it's so good. I'm gonna go play Doom. I'll catch you guys later.
I guess I'm just gonna have to go with $20 is $20.
All right, let's move on. Death End Request Code Z, developed by Compile Heart, published by Idea Factory, released May 13th on PS4 and PS5. $49.99. Iris was born in world DE-1, a world that mirrors Earth in the 2000s. With her birth, a series of tragic loops was set in motion, which were gradually unraveled by the efforts of Arata Mizunashi and his team. With her goodwill restored, Iris created a copy of World DE1 named DE1.5. Here, feuds gave way to friendship, each person a perfect cog in a perfect world, but a new crisis threatens the peace. Pernell, tell us about Death End Request Code Z.
Sure, but before that, check your microphone.
Hello?
Yeah, you're working.
Hello?
On my end. So let's just assume that Twitch can hear you too.
Yay!
So the blurb kind of gave away the bits that I thought would have been like the interesting surprise for people, so I don't have to worry about not talking about it. Essentially, if you've played Death End Request 1 and 2 and you decide to boot this game up, there will be a number of oddities that you'll notice about the characters that don't quite carry over to what you remember about them. And Joe just pretty much told you why that is. But with that said, that doesn't deter from the fact that if you like these characters, you'll be interested in learning that they're dealing with a whole new crisis, most of which is due to individuals that are behaving in a way that you really would not expect to. So that's what happens when parallel realities and alternate realities start to become a thing. People get wacky. But what that means is you're going to get a really cool new visual novel story, and unfortunately, not as good gameplay element to go alongside it. But I'll talk about that. So this game, whereas in the previous games existed between chapters where you walked around an RPG environment dealing turn-based battles, instead this game has you going through chapters where you will engage with general locations on a map to activate story sequences and also to engage in the occasional shopping, which I'll talk about in a few. And then as the story allows for, you will go into story-based dungeons, a top-down perspective to do some top-down dungeon crawling. Now, on the surface, you might think this is a roguelike dungeon crawler. And in some respects, it kind of is, but it's not to the letter as you would be used to if you've played such games in the past. For example, the normal difficulty is set up so that if you die in the dungeon, you don't lose your money or your items. Well, you might lose money. I don't know. I haven't died in a dungeon unless... No, you don't, because I always leave my money behind because I'm not an idiot. But you don't lose your items. And I know that because I've died. And I'll tell you why. I can tell you for a fact in a few minutes as well. But you'll die, but you don't lose your stuff. You'll go through a series of floors where each floor does have typical roguelike elements such as hidden floor traps and items you can pick up, none of which are unidentified, so don't worry about that. And instead of having a hunger meter, as those who don't know, as I should explain for people who don't know, as you walk around these individual floors, you'll take steps, and each time you take a step, the enemies will also take a step. That's every enemy on the floor. If you have a speed status ailment afflicted upon you, then the enemies will move 2 steps for every 1 for you, and vice versa if you have a speed buff attributed to you. If you attack an enemy, same logic. You swing and then they swing. Now, if you come across items in the ground, you can pick them up. You have a limited inventory capacity, and these items can range from healing items to attack items that can be used to attack either an enemy in front of you or the room and whatever and so forth. Now, as you move from room tile to tile, you'll get HP back if you've lost any HP. But typical roguelike dungeon crawlers, how you generally have something equivalent to like a hunger meter, where the longer you stay in the dungeon, the lower this bar will go down, and unless you use items to recharge your hunger, you'll eventually starve and start losing health and eventually die. Well, this game decides to take a little bit of a twist to that, and instead of having a hunger meter, it has a sanity meter, which is more in line with the actual themes of the Death End Request series. And as your sanity gets lower, the environment starts to get wacky and twisted. Your field of vision will start to shift. Your character will start to make erratic movements, and eventually you'll even start to try to kill yourself. So you don't want your sanity to go down, unless for certain situations. So you'll want to use ether code items, which can be found as you crawl the dungeon to keep your sanity at a high. Eventually you'll get to the bottom of the dungeon, fight a boss, and if you defeat that boss, you will rescue a character from the series. I won't tell you why or whatnot, but they're down there, and you'll rescue one when you get to the bottom. And at this point, unlike a lot of this type of game, once you rescue this character, you now are tasked with leaving the dungeon too. So you have to climb back out of it. And there aren't any items that let you do instant escape. So there's no holding on to your escape door and then flinging it when you have the character in your hand. You have to climb the heck back out. Now, every once in a while, a room event might exist where you can come across it and the item will let you escape the dungeon. So that'll be nice. However, there's one particular boon to these dungeon crawls that can be a pain in the ass. And that is an entity known as the Glitch Girls. These characters are hypercharged, very strong characters that are basically hunting you throughout the dungeon. And if they come across you, they will attempt to murder you. If they come across a room with an escape portal in it, which you would like to get across yourself so you don't have to climb up the entire dungeon, they will break it so that you can't use it. And you'll have to continue to climb up without using the escape portal that you are really, really banking on having access to. Now, with that said, that I think is actually a pretty cool element to the game. I like let me rephrase that. I think it's cool except for when it fails for me, because it kind of sucks to spend your time going down 15 floors, fighting a boss, climbing back up, and then getting killed by a glitch girl on the way back up, because that means you got to do the whole dungeon again. And yay, that ain't cool. But that's the element of the concept of these games. However, like I said, I didn't really outright call it a roguelike game, because when you level up in this game by killing monsters, your level retains and you leave the dungeon and go to the next one. So your level is persistent throughout the game. Same goes for, I want to say, your weapon stats, because as you beat up enemies, your weapons will level up and get stronger. You can also equip them with certain sub-effects that will give them various buffs, such as the 10% chance to immobilize an enemy. So that's pretty cool. And you can eventually, on the surface, go to the cafe to basically deconstruct a weapon and move a lot of its components of upgrade to another weapon once you start finding them from events in the game that take place. And you can use those to pretty much move stat gains to other weapons that you prefer to use. Now, the story in the game, I think, is pretty good. I'm generally okay with that. I'm fine with it. Even though they reuse a lot of music and character sprites and character models and animations. But if you've been playing Idea Factory games, that is no surprise to anybody.
Yeah, that's par for the course.
Yes, it is. However, the gripe that I have about this game that makes it so it's not as simple as to say it's a mediocre dungeon crawl with a great narrative overlaying it is the fact that they made a particular gameplay design choice that I think is kind of goofy. It derails a lot of the flow of the game. The title of the game is called Death End Request. In the franchise, that title is partly associated with a concept called a death end, where in the first two games, there are narrative scenarios where if you make a bad decision or a poor choice, sort of like a choose-your-own-adventure story, you'll get a bad ending. And those bad endings can kind of give you items or stat buffs based on how many you acquire. So the game almost incentivizes you to have bad endings. And don't get me wrong, it's kind of freaky that you're like, oh crap, I can't wait to watch my characters die in this crazy, horrific way. It doesn't take a ton of time a lot of the time because it's just, hey, we're in this volcano. We should probably get the hell out of here. And you get the choice of like, I want to stay behind and see how hot I can get. You know, obviously I'm being ridiculous about it, but there'll be choices like that where generally you might be able to foresee this is the choice that's going to get me a bad ending. I may as well just knock it out now and then move on. And you get a cool little story bit. In this game, however, they decided to tie it to the actual dungeon crawling itself. You see, one of the elements of character growth that I failed to mention is that there is an actual skill tree as well. It's a rudimentary one, nothing that's going to blow your socks off. But when you spend, skill points on it, you can increase your attack, your defense, your critical hit chance, and a number of other small elements that can make your dungeon crawling a little bit better. However, you may ask, how exactly do you get these death end points? And how do you unlock further nodes in the death end skill tree? Well, that's by getting killed over and over again by different monsters. If you see a monster in a dungeon, it can kill you. And if that monster kills you, you will get a unique. I won't say unique. You'll get a death end, which will then, after the story plays out, as they describe the character's death, and you get to hear the voice actors do a disturbingly decent way of just dying, like the sound of blood coming out of your mouth. I guess she just gurgles water and but she's just creepily good at portraying herself being stabbed and strangled and bludgeoned, any number of ways to die. And then there's a sub character who, if you've played Death End Request 1, you'll know who she is, who will explain like a weird little like blurb of like, wow, that was a crazy death, huh? Well, did you know that when you die by strangulation, you actually get killed by your body weight pulling you down? Like, it's crazy dialogue like this. And it plays out that way. However, if this were like Sheeran the Wanderer, and most of the monsters that killed you were like maybe in like the second or third area, I could kind of get behind this. Why? Because in that game, you die all the freaking time. It's built into the game in a very, very specific way. Like, you're going to get killed frequently. In this game, on particularly normal mode at least, you will likely have to make yourself get killed to get these death ends. Further in the game, perhaps it might be better for you, but you'll see the enemy and you'll want to do it now. The enemy can kill me. I can unlock a node and get a skill point. Let this bastard kill me and get it over with. But that means now you have to stand there and let yourself get brutalized over and over again until it eventually kills you. And you have a defense stat, but you can spend skill points to increase your defense. But why the hell would you do that if defending increasing your defense stat makes it harder for monsters to kill you, to get the death ends, to get the skill points, to get stat buffs, including increasing your defense? So essentially, my play of the game consists of me only buying attack buffs and letting my defense stay at 2 with my default weapon, holding on to it until I got a better weapon, switching to it, and then when I knew I wanted to die, switch to the crappy weapon and let them kill me with my non-buffed defense and my massively stacked cache of skill points, because I won't buff my HP because I want to die faster. I don't buff my defense because I want to die faster. And it's just a weird way to go about it. Also, don't forget, thankfully in normal mode, you don't lose your items and stuff when you die. Higher difficulties, you do. But considering that they are doing this with the game and the dungeon crawl itself isn't particularly engaging in that sense, I don't want to waste my time with getting killed, losing all my stuff, and then going back down the dungeon. So what that ends up meaning is I have to watch for monsters, let them beat the stuffing out of me, hopefully not let my sanity go down to the point where my sanity kills me first, and then I don't even get the proper kill that I want. And then doing it all again, because of course when you die, even if you don't lose your stuff, you still have to go do the entire dungeon over again. And also that includes bosses too. So you get to the bottom of a dungeon, typical dungeon crawl or RPG, you're like, okay, time to go kick this boss's ass. I've hoarded all my items, I'm ready to go. In this game, it's, oh, here's a new boss, time to let him kill me. It's like it doesn't gel. Like, it doesn't click. Like, I get what they were going for because of the franchise and the nature of the franchise. But there's just something to be said about being made to make yourself lose in order to accomplish gains. I just feel like that's a really bad design choice. If you knock that out and just didn't care about increasing your character stats or getting skill points or any of that, I could see a person playing this just to get the story. At which point, that's how my review is ultimately going to come to play, because what I feel like with this game is, if you like the Death End Request franchise, you're going to want to know more about it, because they did a really good job of writing the characters and the story, so much so that, as you remember correctly, I remember being kind of murky about playing the battle systems in Death End Request 1 and 2, but I completed both of them because the narrative engaged me so much that I wanted to see it through. This one is no different. But at least in those games, I also did enjoy gaining strength in my characters and building up and, I don't know, engaging the systems that they provided to me to make my characters become more powerful. The pinball battle system, and the learning new skills by combining skills. I liked that a lot, even if the battles got rote after a while. This game is just like, I need to just get to the end because I want to see what's playing out with the narrative, but the other part is kind of So I would say, if you're a fan of Death End Request and you're interested in the stories that these games tell, then this is still kind of a no-brainer purchase, because that part of the game has not faltered in the slightest. It's the gameplay that kind of hurts. Though I am glad to hear that Death End Request 3 is a game that is not this one, and from what I've been reading about, that is going to have the actual traditional battle system, at least. Fingers crossed that they make some improvements to it. Won't hold my breath, but fingers crossed. But if you're looking to like, oh, wow, a dungeon crawler, this might be different. It's not. Don't waste your time.
All right, let's talk about price on this one. It's $50. It's on PS4 and PS5. You do not get both versions with a purchase, so buy the proper platform that you want to play on. $50, is it worth it?
I would say if you're a Death End Request fan, I'd give it a buy it. Whatever price point is right for you, I'm going to give you that, because I could hear somebody go like 40, you crazy. No, I'm saying buy it for whatever price is you're comfortable with. But if you're not a fan of Death End Request, or you haven't heard of it and you're like, this might be the game to give it a try to, I'm going to be like, no, deny. Do not come in from this one. Not just because the gameplay the battle aspect of it is mediocre, but you kind of want to have knowledge of the previous two games to even remotely appreciate what's going on in here.
Right. Any other thoughts?
There you go. That's Perfect. Me choking on a bottle of soda.
Perfect. Next up, Kathy Rain 2, Soothsayer, developed by Clifftop Games, published by Raw Fury, released May 20th on Steam for $19.99. This point-and-click urban thriller, down-and-out private eye Kathy Rain will embark on her most dangerous case yet, the pursuit of the notorious serial killer known as the Soothsayer. Find clues, gather evidence, connect the dots, and confront the murderer, or the hunter becomes the hunted. Aki, what's Kathy Rain 2?
Okay, Kathy Rain 2 is a point-and-click game where you play as a young woman who is... she owns a extremely failing detective agency, and she's about to get evicted because, she's bad at her job, apparently. And your old mentor comes by and is like, hey, yeah, want to team up together to do this? There's, a big reward in it, and we can split it. And you're like, well, thanks for telling me about that. No, I'm going to do it on my own because I'm so good at my job that I'm about to be evicted. So your job is basically the mayor of the city is giving out a giant reward for anyone who can figure out information on this new serial killer that's hitting the sleepy, go nowhere, podunk piece of shit town. And you're off to go find information. The individual is...
that noise that just went off was my cat shaking her head and her ears clipping the mic stand.
Great.
That was just boom.
I was wondering what that was. I thought that was something on my end. Okay.
Nope. No, it's my cat. Love you, Coltrane.
Nice. Good job, kitty cat. And yeah, so the reason why the serial killer is called the Soothsayer is because they always leave a broken obsidian mirror, which is something apparently used in witchcraft by soothsayers when they're trying to see the future or some other type of bullshit. And yeah, everyone is basically being killed different ways, so there's not like an MO beyond there's a broken mirror that is clearly different from everyone else because it's made out of obsidian. And yeah, so you're going around trying to figure out this information, and you have a whole slew of different things you can use to try and figure this stuff out. You have different locations you can visit. There's a lot of little mini puzzles, basically stuff like, hey, you need to find the dates to find the information on all the different people who have been killed because you're coming into this late. Even though you live in the town, you apparently don't know shit. Somehow, even though it's been in all the newspapers for the past couple of months, you apparently don't know anything because you're really good at your job. Remember that, folks. You're great at your job. You're a good detective. That's why you're getting evicted. And so, like, one of the first puzzles you have is you basically are trying to figure out the dates of when everyone died, but because you know the date of the very last person who was murdered, so you're like, oh, I'll look through the newspaper clippings of that time, and hopefully it'll lead me back to the prior one, and I can keep doing that. And somehow, for some reason, you are able to do that. And it just requires you to figure out, oh, they said it was 2 weeks ago. Well, then 2 weeks from this date, that's when it was. Or on the last new moon. Okay, let's look that up. And you find the stuff through that, basically. So they're not particularly difficult puzzles, but sometimes they are a little confusing just because it doesn't give you quite enough information all the time. But there are a lot of tiny little miscellaneous achievements in this game, like meeting with somebody every day and talking with them and stuff like that. It's kind of cute. It helps flesh out the story a bit more by just interacting with people, which is nice. There is a little bit of supernatural stuff in this near the end of the game. Unlike the first game where it was a lot of supernatural stuff. That was the one thing that I really remembered about the first game at this point, because it's been a long fucking time, was that there was a bunch of supernatural stuff in it. And this one, like, it is all saved for the very end of the game, basically, where all of it just smacks you right in the fucking face. Which is a shame, because I would have liked it throughout the whole thing, because that's a really interesting aspect. But it's not a particularly long game. I think I beat it in a day, maybe two. And I 100% did it, so that it was really nice. There is a nice little mechanic in the game where instead of having to constantly click through areas to slowly walk your way through, if you're close to a door and you want the fuck out the room, you just double click on the door and you just poof, you're there. It'd be nice if they had it throughout the whole thing. In the first game, I'm pretty sure there was a run button, and this one there isn't, and that makes me very, very sad, because Kathy Rain is a very slow bitch. But, yeah, you get to interact with a lot of people in this game, including individuals like your own mother, who is in a nut house, which is great. And Kathy ends up having a lot of relationships that she's developed between the first and second game, and you don't know any of these fucking people, so now you're thrown, like, right in the middle of her life, and it feels very weird, but also kind of makes you want to learn more about these people. And sadly, I wasn't able to learn quite enough about these people. It was driving me a little crazy. You end up finding out that Kathy Rain's kind of a, what's the term? A bitch. Yeah, she's a bitch. She uses people only for what they can get her, and then she kind of throws them away like a sociopath. And that actually becomes a really big, important part of the game later on. But throughout the whole game, you're watching as she's doing this, because you don't really have an option. There's not like here's 5 different ways to solve this, and one of them's being a complete fucking sociopath. No, she's just a sociopath the whole way through. So yeah, you end up seeing her just basically fuck up every relationship she has and just wreck everyone's shit because she's just kind of a terrible person. And you start going through the process of being like, maybe that's kind of a shitty thing to do, and maybe you shouldn't do that. And it's a really nice little life lesson that I wish more people would fucking learn. And yeah, there's not a lot to say about the game because, again, it's a pretty quick game. I don't know exactly how long I spent in it, but I can look that up because I'm amazing like that. Let's see here.
15.
It took me 15 hours, and probably 5 of that was me just eating or doing other things while it was playing, to be honest. Yeah.
All right,
so,
well,
yeah,
it's $20. What do you think?
I'm really for this. However, I think you should play the first game first. So if you don't have that, go play it first. I think it gets a lot better that way.
Or they sell bundles on Steam, so look for the bundle and save a few bucks.
Do it!
Next up, Monster Train 2. From Kathy Rain 2 to Monster Train 2. Works for me. Monster Train 2, developed by Shiny Shoe, published by Big Fan Games, released May 21st on Series X and S, Switch, PS5, and PC for $24.99. Monster Train returns with all new clans, new enemy factions, new challenges, new modes, and more. Defend your pyre in the classic 3-tiered vertical gameplay that made the original roguelike deck builder a hit. Pernell, you love your deck builders. What's going on in Monster Train 2? Pernell.
Well,
there you go.
There you are.
It's almost like Turnabout is fair play. Now, I too am the muted one. Ain't that some shit?
We're all doing great this episode, by the way.
My defense is I'm tired.
I don't know about you all, but I've been doing just
same here. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm doing fucking fantastically. Thank you very
Golden,
much.
I asked if you're at Best Buy again. Oh man!
I'm just saying, maybe did something cool come out? Which I feel like something needs to come out. So I guess next week that could happen if the Switch 2 thing happens or whatever.
Yeah, that's a thing that's coming. Anyway, Monster Train 2. What's Monster Train 2?
So, Monster Train 2 is the sequel to Monster Train 1 in that now you're not in hell fighting hellish monsters on behalf of heaven. Now you are in heaven fighting heavenly monsters and some titanous creatures on behalf of hell and a rogue heaven sect combining together to defend against the Who Dao? That's right. This game is pretty cool in that regard. Aside from the narrative giving a bit of a shift to the location, the general gist is about the same. You are taking 2 different clans, smashing them together. If you've played the board game Smash Up, you already know what I'm talking about. And using those two clan properties collectively to get on board with stomping monster ass. You are trying to get the core of your train from the beginning of your run to the end of your run to defeat the boss, being the Seraph. Now, each segment of your run consists of 2 track choices. And on each of those tracks, you'll get an option to make a variety of different choices. That could be anything related to like tweaking your card deck or getting some more buff for your pyre, which is the health of the train, being when that thing is destroyed. And I'll talk more about battle proper in a second. That thing is destroyed, it's game over for you on that run. And a multitude of other things that ultimately meant to buff and improve your odds of winning the game, including like card modifications and all. But once you've done all that, the meat and potatoes lies in going to the battles. And good God, this game is so freaking fun. Once the battle begins, you are giving your initial, positioning phase, your loadout phase, where you get a series of characters, and they all come with their own particular cost of deployment. So you might. It's hard. I don't even know what the default loadout starting amount is anymore, because I've played so many runs of this that I keep getting like buffed versions of it. So I've had like 9 and 10. But the point is, you get a starting amount of Ember, and that Ember is what you use to spend to play cards on the board. Now, the train consists of 3 different floors, or 3 rooms, and then the 4th floor above that is where your pyre is located. Enemies typically, but that can change depending on the Rule 4 stage, will come in at the bottom of your train, eventually rising up level by level until they eventually get to the pyre. Each level of the train, you can deploy units to a certain capacity, with different units taking up a certain amount of that total capacity. Once a battle begins, after you've done your initial deployment, the next round begins. You can do a little bit more deployment, and then monsters will start loading up into this bad boy. And you'll have the ability to either just place new characters down, so long as you have buffs. There will be cards that will allow you to equip characters with things that give them various status increases or new trait changes. Hell, you can equip monsters sometimes. You might give a monster an item that every time it moves between floors, it takes damage. And items that you can use to directly attack enemies, being spells. There's a freaking lot. There's a shit ton of things you can do in this game. After you spend all the Ember that you've got for a round, you say go, the first round starts. Your characters will attack, or let me rephrase it. Technically, unless you have the quick status ailment or quick status buff, the enemies will attack first, and then you will attack. Basically, one back and forth will take place. Anybody you kill will stay dead. Anybody you did not manage to kill will move up 1 floor on the train. And then new enemies will come in from the bottom of the train, and you get to do this again. There's a lot to this game, despite the fact that the mechanics behind doing those things are very simple, which in this regard is a benefit to the game, because, again, the mechanics are simple, but they give you a lot to chew on to become a master of the game. Whether the different clan properties and what they can do versus what they can't do, or the different buffs that you can give certain characters, or certain characters that when a buff is placed on somebody else, they will get a benefit, or they might hurt an enemy because of something that's happened to something completely unrelated to you on the field. There is a lot of shit taking place here that's all forming a magnificent synergy symphony that you will be engaging in every step of the frickin' way. After a certain number of waves, the boss enemy will come onto the field. And the boss enemy changes the name of the game, because instead of having a 1-round tit for tat, he will brawl until either he dies on the floor or your entire army on that floor gets murked out. And then he will move up, destroying the floor below it, and continuing onward until he gets to your pyre. If he gets to the pyre and destroys it, well, that's game over. But that would also occur if any normal enemies did the same freaking thing. Now, if you manage to defeat the boss, you will basically get your rewards and then move on to your next train segment, choice with a number set of buffs. Now, you have a champion character who is basically the lead character of the main faction you select, of the 2 that you choose. Every once in a while, you'll be able to upgrade that very specific character at a specifically special station type. And I don't remember if that was the case in the first Monster Train, but in this one, there's a series of branching trees. So there's multiple ways you can build your champion character. So they play in a variety of different ways. They're not just one and done character type. So even just the champions alone are very well designed. You can continue to do this. You can continue to get more buffs. You can go to a shop that lets you modify your cards by giving them, equipables. Each card can equip up to 2 things, and those equipables can change a multitude of properties. One of my favorite things to have is a character that gets a multi-strike plus a shield, plus the ability to have his cost, not his cost decrease, but you can put an item on so that when you play the card, it goes right back on the top of your deck so you can do it again. There's another one that I really like where you can play the card, it makes a duplicate of itself, and it goes right in your hand so you can play it again, but unfortunately, once you've done that, they go away, but it's only for that battle. There's a lot of cool freaking things you can do in this game. And there's also items you can get called artifacts that give you passive buffs throughout the entire run. There are different modifiers you can give to the pyre itself that lets you have increased capacity on the floors or more damage that all your characters can do. There's a lot. There's even room modifications. The rooms can have properties on your freaking train. The train levels up between runs. The train becomes better. Like it's a lot of fun stuff. And depending on the way in which you play the game itself, that will also determine how you unlock additional clans, because the more you use a clan, the more it levels up and the more that can be available to it. But also, if you do specific ways of playing the game, you'll eventually unlock other clans that are kind of built around the mechanic that you had to employ to get them to unlock in the first place, which I think is pretty fun. There's a lot to do in this game. There's a lot to level. There's a lot to grow your character base, and you can keep playing until you're just bored, because there's an endless mode you can do. There's increased difficulty caps, so you can just have a harder version of the run if you want. So you'll never become too powerful, because it's kind of got that Diablo vibe where you just keep having nightmares or whatever, new nightmare level. This kind of has something like that. You can just keep jacking up the difficulty until you're just pissing yourself with sorrow. It's good like that. I don't know what else I should be saying about it. Just, I like it a lot. This is one of those games where every once in a while, a game will come out and you'll be like, hey, Pernell, you want to review this game? I'm like, I don't know. I've never heard of it. And I don't know if I have a lot of time. And I'll go, you know what? Fine, I'll review it. And this ended up being pretty good. Monster Train 2 is a game where I was like, I was going to buy that any freaking way because I know what I'm in for. Give me this thing. And I'm glad that it didn't disappoint me, because there is a lot of game here. If you've got the time to play it, you have a lot of game to fulfill your time with. You will not get bored. Woof.
Awesome. Well, it's $25. You think of Monster Train 2?
Easily, probably one of the easiest buys I've given on this show. Just buy the damn game.
You know, if you're on the fence, I've got some good news. It's on Game Pass.
There you go. There you go.
There you go. If you got Game Pass, give it a go. If you don't have Game Pass, give it a go, I guess.
Come on, ride the train. Ride it.
Choo-choo.
Ride the Monster Train. And ride it part 2.
Next game, Coin Push RPG. Developed by RAmen, published by Wise Games. Released May 22nd on Steam for $9.99. Coin Push RPG is a unique blend of semi-idle RPG and coin pusher gameplay. Recruit legendary heroes, equip them with powerful gear, upgrade your town, construct buildings, and unlock stunning backgrounds to expand your influence. Build a diverse and unstoppable team with your own unique style. Aki, what's Coin Push RPG?
Okay. Yes, I know. It takes a minute for it to recharge. I can't automatically just fill it another time. Okay, damn it. Leave me alone for a minute. So, stop it! There. You happy? There. It's done. Stop. Okay, so...
Coin Push RPG? Tell us.
I'll slap the shit out of one or both of you at this point. Jesus Christ. So,
that would
in
not
this...
be unique. You do that a lot.
Not anywhere. God damn it. And I've used it within the last 30 seconds. I can't do it again. Okay, thank God. So fuck you guys. So this is a weird little game. I will hit you so hard. It's okay. You don't have to kill them today. Do it later.
There's always tomorrow.
These two may not live to see tomorrow. So, this game, you're dropping balls in... God, this is terrible. Into...
Did you say balls?
I hate it, but this is technically a game that deserves that. Damn it. I don't know if y'all ever played or watched the old game shows, but there was one where they dropped something from the top and it just went in between a whole bunch of rods that were sticking out until it reached a bottom basket and it gave them whatever amount of money.
Plinko on Price is Right.
Yes, that's what this game is. Except for it also has some...
Coin pusher from the arcade, where you drop a quarter in and try to get a bunch of quarters back.
Oh, yeah, I've never been to an
You've
actual
never seen a
pachinko?
coin push game in an arcade? Oh my god, are you too young to know what an arcade is?
I know what an arcade is. I've never been to one because they were already mostly closed by the time I was old enough to even have thought to go to
My soul
one.
hurts.
And I live in a poding town, so there probably was never one here in the first place. The closest I've been to is like a Pizza Hut where they had like 5 arcade machines in the back, and that was their arcade room. That's the closest I've gotten. Yeah, it's bad. So it's a coin pusher game, apparently. It has some paddles that move right and left, and you send a little pinball type thingy out, and it rolls off of them and falls into the machine. Woo! You're trying to get it to land on enemy tokens that appear in different areas there to prevent them from attacking you. They have to hit them a number of times in order to remove them from the board for this move. You have like 10 tokens, I think, 7 or 10, something like that, that you get to drop. And hopefully you can knock out all of them. If it hits multiples of them, that's great. If it hits the same one multiple times, which is rare, that's even better. And yeah, when you knock off a certain amount of coins, your character's attack, I believe, is how it works. I don't know. I tend to just let it autoplay because this is an auto battler and everything. Eventually, you get an upgrade that you can buy that just allows you to click a button and it auto fires all the coins one after another. And I've been doing that for the past like 10 hours, so maybe more. So I'm not exactly sure how they fight, and since I have it sped up to the max speed, I don't really care how they fight as long as they kill the things. That's all that matters to me. As you defeat enemies, you sometimes get things into a jackpot, which is a little moving basket that's higher up than the other ones that moves left to right. If a coin lands in it, you get a jackpot, and a little spinny thing at the bottom moves, and it gives you different things. Either it will drop a big ball that if you knock it off the edge, you get an item from it, or it'll drop a bunch more coins to hopefully knock more coins off for you. It'll create a tower of coins, or it'll do an ability that will move the coins in some way, like an earthquake or a lightning strike or something like that, which is really nice. I prefer earthquakes because they move everything significantly. And yeah, you just auto battle your way. You do have gear that you can equip to different people. All the coins that drop turn into money for you, and you use that money to go to a tavern and buy new heroes, or to go to the shop to buy new gear for the heroes, and then you can go equip them and give them better abilities, which are very meh. Each hero has, as they level up, gets more jobs, I guess we would call it, more different titles that they can use, and each one has its own upgrade tree. You have 13 by the time they get to level 60 points that you can use to put into these 3 trees that you unlock. I think they're all unlocked by the time you hit level 30. Each one of them, I think, is like 7 points long, so you can't fully upgrade everything, which kind of sucks. Everything they have is randomized from their stats to their skills to what rank they are, what jobs they end up getting, etc., etc. It's all randomized, so you might start off with a character that's like, oh yeah, they do a lot of damage with daggers. And then the next one might be like, a job that one unlocks is like a magic job, which has absolutely nothing to do with their stabby job that they've been doing. So it's like, well, there's no point in putting any points into this fucking thing. Or it might be like, oh yeah, if you use an axe, you get more damage, but you already have this one where you're doing more damage with daggers. So again, not very useful. When that happens, you can, as you're playing through the game, you unlock lots of stuff. It's not just gear and weapons that you get. You also get a whole bunch of other things, and I don't even know what they all are because there's just too much shit that you're getting in this game. and it allows you to basically retrain them into different jobs. You don't get to choose which ones. You can click ones that you want, and if you have the items, those are more likely to appear, but they're not guaranteed. And it resets every job but their very first one that they had. That one is permanent. So if you don't like that job, don't hire that fucking person. Just reset the tavern and get a different person. But the other two can be reset. However, you can't reset just one of them. Both of them get reset each time. So if you like one of them, you need to click to have it show up more often, and also click the other one that you want to show up more often, so you can hopefully get both of them within the next 30 tries. Usually they show up within a couple. I was really unlucky one day, and I tried for, let's say, a while to try and get the two classes I wanted, because it was a healer and I wanted to just add more healing power to them, and it didn't work in the end, which kind of pissed me off a little bit, but life is life. I'm not very lucky, so meh. There are a bunch of different classes in this game. I think there's 20-something, 30-something of them. They get unlocked through playing through levels, occasionally through buying the little balls, because you can do that in the store as well to get random items. Yeah. Sometimes there's titles and stuff in there as well for new jobs, so that's nice. And yeah, you're trying to get through levels 1 to 100 in each chapter of the game. There's 6 chapters, there's an endless mode, and there's also a dragon that you can fight. Endless and the dragon fight are both unlocked, I think, when you unlock chapter 5. You need a special item to fight the dragon, and it's just a dragon. It gets specialty stats that get added to it, because when you enter it, you roll for what rewards you're going to get, and each reward also amplifies the dragon's abilities a little bit. So you might be like, oh, you get 2 respec items, but it doesn't just roll what item you're getting, it also rolls what the dragon's getting a benefit of. So it might be like, oh, they get a 200% defense to physical attacks now. Fuck my life. Okay, now I know I need magic characters instead. Great, except for my characters are already chosen, so maybe I might want to re-roll that bitch to do some form of damage. Yeah, it sounds really complex just because there's just so much stuff, but it's a very simple game because most of it is just automatically done for you. Because again, as I said, you get an upgrade where it automatically throws out the balls into the machine for you. Yeah. Or the coins.
I mean, it's an idle game, so that's kind of the draw of it. I'm actually really interested in this one because for the longest time, I was addicted to Coin Dozer on my iPhone. I would play that shit all the time. Just dropping coins, watching them get pushed, prizes would fall down and shake up the board, and you get bonus chips that make the walls pop up and shit like that. And to see all of that in RPG form with RPG elements sounds friggin' awesome to me.
It is pretty fun, I have to admit. I do not understand how people are doing as well as they are, though, because I have mostly S+ ranked characters, which is the highest ranked character you can have. My whole team is made up of nothing but that, and all of their stats are S+ rank because I fucking spent forever and a whole bunch of in-game currency to do that. And I still can't even beat chapter 6 yet, and there's achievements for getting through that, but also fighting against the dragon 100 times. I can't beat the 8th one. So it's fuck me. I don't know how people are doing this. There's an achievement for getting through Endless to 3,000 for 3,000. I'm like, I can barely get to 1,000. What the fuck are these people doing? How are they doing this? I do not understand. Because I am making all my characters to basically have all of their classes spec'd to do a maximum damage or maximum healing. I'm getting nowhere, and I don't understand, and it's driving me crazy. Hopefully people will start telling me how the hell they're speccing their shit so I can do something in this game, because it's driving me nuts.
It's a little game. You're not supposed to beat it in a week. But let's go over some of the highlights on the Steam page. Players will recruit heroes and customize their unique talents and skills.
God damn you. Did this on purpose.
Also, every hero comes with unique backstories and rarity tiers.
Unique. I'm gonna hurt you.
Yep. And best of all, 260 plus unique buffs and talents to mix and match.
I'm going to say unique 266 times. Unique.
I mean, we're just about at 450 right now. There's 450. Thanks, Horror Acolyte. All right, let's talk price on this bad boy. Coin Push RPG clocks in at $10. What do you think?
You think?
Bro. If you like this style of game, this is totally going to be for you, and you should most definitely get it. If you don't like idle games, you don't want easy Steam achievements, then this isn't going to change your mind. It's still just an idle game, realistically speaking. So I'm kind of for it, because it was kind of nice to have a game that I could just set off in the background to do stuff and come back every now and then and be like, woo, instead of having to focus on it constantly, even though I did put a surprisingly large amount of focus on the fucking game for reasons that I don't comprehend myself. But yeah, I'm very for this. I did really enjoy it.
Cool. And I do want to give a warning for people who are touchy about the subject. There is AI generated content in the game. On Steam, it noticed that some of the equipment icons on the game, we used AI generation icon of props, the character avatar in the store, and the guide character stand-up drawing are AI generated. So if you have a problem with AI and that is a deal breaker on the game, keep that in mind. Again, that info is on the Steam page.
Cool.
All right.
I didn't know that.
Next up, Webbing Journey, developed by Fire Totem Games, published by Future Friends Games, released May 19th on Steam for $7.99. Adorable spider chaos. Swing around the house, weave crazy structures, play with physics-based objects, pull off chores with nothing but your webs and your wits. In this madcap sandbox adventure, friend Andy Sperry covered this one, recorded a review and sent it to us, and I'm going to play it. So, Andy, take it away.
In the world of power washing and goat simulation games, it was only a matter of time before man became the creature he feared most. A terror that lurks in the shadows, always watching from the corner of the room. The bloodthirsty, eight-legged, eight-eyed horror that is the common house spider. Okay, maybe I'm overdoing it here for this game, but in A Webbing Journey by Fire Totem Games, you indeed get to be an eight-legged menace. Actually, just the opposite. You're pretty stinking adorable, and you really just want to help around the house. If by chance you can't stand the insane cuteness and get past your arachnophobia, even after you've played around with a lot of the fun customizable options, vibrant colors, shoes, and hats, then you can just be a fuzzy little ball that shoots webs instead. As a fuzzy little web shooting friend, you've decided to help out your large and busy human roommates. While they're out battling the evil mortgage monster, you can do a little tidying around the house. Use your web slinging abilities to clean the dishes, water the plants, learn to cook, and a whole list, or multiple lists, of fun challenges in this sandbox-style adventure. Master the art of web weaving to control the environment around you and help Silky in his quest to become the ultimate roommate. Or simply swing around and build your dream web. It's really up to you. A Webbing Journey creates both a fun and engaging environment for players, with puzzles that are easy to solve with a little imagination, and secrets that are just waiting to be discovered. The levels are set up in a way to allow players to fully explore every inch of space, allowing creative web building, climbing, and physics-based fun. Currently, A Webbing Journey is in early access and features 3 main story levels: the kitchen, office, and kids' room, each with their set of unique puzzles and creative obstacles. There are more areas to explore available in sandbox mode, but do not currently offer any challenges and just focus on freedom and exploration. Plenty more is set up for future updates, and the team at Fire Totem Games is working hard to stick to their roadmap deadlines, which include new levels, more cosmetic items, achievements, and much more to come. At $7.99, this is an easy buy it for me. Not only did I enjoy the creative puzzle solving and relaxed gameplay, but the art style got me over my fear of spiders, and I am now the proud owner of over 6 tarantulas. Just kidding. But I did in fact really enjoy this game, and I am looking forward to the future content updates. If possible, I would love to see a 2-player mode implemented for a little dual spider chaotic fun. All my 8 legs are crossed for this. But in the meantime, check this one out and enjoy the cozy adventure that is A Webbing Journey.
All right, we got one final game to talk about tonight, and we're getting dirty. George, take it away.
SML After Dark.
The 7 Realms, Realm 3. Lathion? What's that word?
I'm sure we'll go with that, because they don't actually speak the name of it, so sure, we'll go with that, because I have no fucking idea.
Luigion. Developed and published by SeptCloud Games, released November 19th on Steam for $12.99. Seven Realms is a story-driven adult visual novel. You're a Spartan warrior turned vampire prince on a quest to save your queen. Enter High Lathion, the elven homeland. Words. Long ravaged by civil war and currently held together by fragile peace. Can you save them from destruction? And fuck them all. Aki, what's the 7 Realms of Realm 3?
You can't fuck them all on one save. You gotta have at least 2 saves, then you can fuck them all easily.
You fucked them all, didn't you?
Just so everyone knows. Of course I did. Duh! Who's not gonna fuck them all? Come on, I need to unlock all the different gallery parts, okay? That way I can watch the fucking whenever I want. So yeah, this game continues immediately where the first and second games left off, because this is all just one continuous day in the life of this all fucking sucks for me, let's go solve all of the world's problems. And yeah, as I mentioned last time in the extremely quick review, you are off to go find the ingredients to this potion in order to save someone important. Obviously now you know it is the Queen, Effie, basically your mom.
Your mom.
Yeah, your mom. Your hot mom. And so, in this... So,
you broke Aki with that one.
I wasn't expecting that. That was fucking hilarious.
Burger Thing game ruined. One save to fuck them all.
If only. I would love to have one save to fuck them all. But yeah, anyways, so...
Oh, GoldenEye, no. What a time to leave my phone in the kitchen and go upstairs while my kids clean out the Oh, shit.
You deserved it.
I mean, you've been listening to us long enough. You do kind of deserve it.
Yeah, it's me. I am here. You know something's bad gonna happen. I'm a Thursday person for a reason. So you have to make this potion to save Effie by saving her dad to increase his magic or what the fuck ever. I don't know exactly. And the problem with this is the potion requires a whole bunch of super rare items from a lot of dangerous realms, because it can't just be shit you find on Terran. That'd be too easy. Can't be shit that you find in the witch's place with the people who are making the potion, because that'd be too easy. No, it has to be every other realm. And it has to be really rare resources, and most of these realms have to really fucking hate your ass. Woo! This is great! I can't wait for this quest. And the first one you go to is the home of the Sun and Moon Elves, High Lathion, or whatever the fuck it's called, because again, it doesn't tell you exactly how it's called. You just see how it's spelled, which does not help. And they kind of hate you. And by kind of hate you, I mean they really, really hate you. They liked the queen because she helped broker a peace between the two races of elves who had been at war for, I don't know, a few billion years, because they're completely immortal creatures unless you kill them. Then they die. Like everything the fuck else does. Woohoo! Yeah, it's great, because they all have this long-standing feud. None of them remember how it started, because it started with a generation that has since been killed off. So they still hate each other with an absolute passion and want to kill each other, but they don't remember why. And so many of them have been fighting for just millions to billions of years, literally, that they can't let go of their hatred. It's great. And a peace was brokered by Effie between all of them. So that's cool. They don't like Terrans, though, because Terrans are assholes. Sadly, you're the one here to come and solve the problems. So they're not really getting a better view. Yeah. Effie personally hates you because apparently you fucked all of her friends and didn't fuck her. So that's funny.
Unsportsmanlike.
Exactly! You're supposed to fuck them all. It's kind of like Pokemon, except for instead of catching, you're fucking. Well, I guess you probably catch all the STDs. I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, you have to find the super rare grass, I think is what it's supposed to be. Some sort of grass. I'm not quite sure, because it doesn't actually tell you what the item is. It tells you its name, but I think it's a grass from its name. I'm not sure. And yeah, the problem is there's a plague that is ravishing these lands, and it's only affecting the moon elves. So, that's not going to cause any problems amongst the people. It basically turns the moon elves that catch it into mindless zombies that attack everything on sight. Think 28 Days Later, that kind of zombie. The very, very exceptionally violent, fast kind that cause all the problems. And so, that's not possibly going to cause a civil war that was just recently solved a few hundred years ago. No, that couldn't possibly a thing. Only moon elves attacking everything in sight, including sun elves who already hate moon elves. And only affecting moon elves totally isn't going to make the moon elves think that the sun elves are just doing something to poison them. So, it totally, you didn't just walk right into a big old bag of flaming dog shit. Totally didn't. So, you have to fucking find some way of solving this bullshit, because obviously until this is quelled, they can't send any of the people that would be necessary for you to find the shit. They can't do anything. They have to solve this first, because this is a huge fucking problem. Partially because the place where this stuff grows is a mist maze. You're not going to find your way through. You need someone specific to get through there, and it's someone from that region, and there's only one of them outside of that region right now. And she's a big high up person in the military, and she right now is trying to solve this plague. So, well, you can't use her to get into this place, and if you try to go in there, you'll be lost for who knows how many decades. Have fun. Oh, and she doesn't know anything about these grasses. So you need another person. And the person who happens to know about this stuff is a high-ranking moon elf. And, with the plague going, can't really send her out anywhere, because she might catch the plague, and that'd be a problem. Well, fuck my life. I guess I have to solve all of your kingdom's bullshit in order to solve my own shit. Thank you for being useful leaders.
This is totally nothing to do with your review, but you said the character's name is Effie, right?
Something like that. Yeah, the queen, not your character.
There's a wrestler named Effie. I think you would enjoy them. They're like...
Oh, is she hot?
It's a he. He's like super gay. He kisses
Yay!
dudes.
It's like, oh,
shoves his
great!
ass in
Yes,
their
I would
face.
love
He
him.
is fucking awesome. Effie is probably one of the coolest wrestlers out there right now, and he is super inclusive.
Nice. I would probably really enjoy that. That sounds hilarious.
Him and this one dude in Japan did a match, I think from the company DDT versus GCW. It was the two of them. It, like, to sell it to our friend Matt, his girlfriend is like a burlesque dancer, and our sell to her to watch the match was, this is the gayest wrestling match you will ever watch. And she loved it. And we loved it. And it's incredibly gay and incredibly fun and incredibly heartwarming. And it is such... I love GCW because of how inclusive they are. So I think you would enjoy Effie.
How long ago was this match that you were just talking about? How long ago was it?
Not even a year.
Oh, okay. So it probably wasn't Hard Gay. That makes me sad. I miss Hard Gay. He's been retired for a while.
Well, Effie has taken the charge. Effie, Dark Chic, Alley Catch. Effie does an event called Effie's Big Gay Brunch. A yearly event. And this year at the Big Gay Brunch, Effie defended the world championship for the first time ever at a gay brunch.
Nice.
So it's badass. Yeah, that's my wrestling tangent about Effie. But, Seven Realms Realm 3 clocks in at $13. There are some purchase options on Steam if people are interested. The game itself is on sale right now until June 2nd for $9. And they also have an ultimate collection that includes all 3 games, walkthroughs, bonus content, all that fun stuff. For me, it is showing the bundle with discount is $21 for all 3 games. As it stands, this one by itself, $13. Give us your verdict.
Oh, hell yes, totally. This is a great, fun little game. And whilst I wouldn't call these comedy games, they have some really good quibs in them every now and then. Like, for instance, your character being the massive slut that he is, it's actually occasionally brought up to him by other people how much of a whore he is. And he is so like, yeah, I am. Ain't it great? It's like, I can... any emotion that me and other people are having, we can just fuck it out. It's fantastic. And I'm just like, yes, go get you some. It's like, that is just what the game is. It is just, it has these serious moments, these sad moments, and then someone will just say something that is just so fucking hilarious and so in character for them. It's fantastic. 100%. This is totally a buy it.
Very good. All right. Well, that is it. Made it through. Done with this episode. Big thanks to the 3 of you for hanging out, keeping me company here. Big thanks to Adam, Rez, Ryan coming on doing their thing. Big thanks to Andy for sending in his coverage, which hopefully he did, because if not, I'm not going to edit this part out. Too lazy to do so.
Just put in about 5 seconds of test signal.
Music.
This is only a test.
Music. We're going to play some Lonely Rolling Stars. And we are going to play their song. What's the title of it? Drank Your Milkshake from Dragon Quest IV.
Happy Dragon Quest Day, everybody.
Yep, that's why I'm doing it. Yay.
As of this recording, it's the 39th anniversary of the release of the first Dragon Quest in Japan.
Yeah.
And, to celebrate, I just crossed 190 hours in Dragon Quest IX, my offline game.
Jesus Christ, yo.
I crossed 100 hours in the online one.
What do you mean?
For fuck's sake.
They're the same thing. Why do you split them?
No. I've been streaming Dragon Quest on my Twitch for like 8 years now, and I'm on 9 now. Mm-hmm. And I have 2 copies of the game, because you only get 1 save file per copy of the game. So I bought a copy specifically to stream, and that copy, that totally different game, I've crossed over 100 hours in. But my offline copy I'm also playing so that I won't keep playing my streaming copy while I'm offline, because I just can't stop.
You have problems.
That one is at 190 right now, and I've beaten neither of the main stories on them.
I don't know how you do it. And I'm saying as a guy who loved Dragon Quest IX, like I'm trying to find myself a way to want to play my games again because, as you well know, I have a lot that I need to play.
I learned how to unlock all of the DLC in 2025, even though the servers have been down for 10 years. So that's part of it.
Wait, there's an actual non-glitchy way to do it?
Yeah, you can just do it on a retail copy. All you have to do is adjust your DNS settings and connect to a private server instead of an auto.
So was it a server that someone put up to host, or is it a known, normal, legitimate server?
No. It's like a fan hosting just all the data. Well, okay, so here's the thing with Dragon Quest IX. I'm sorry, you can end the recording right now. I'm about to go off.
Okay.
Keep in mind,
does anyone have
the game itself goes? Oh, good. Play Dragon Quest. There's your ender. End the episode. Play Dragon Quest. It's good shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.